think that's funny, do you?
Where are you going, Reuben?
Anywhere. Somewhere. I've had it with gold.
I lost your supplies.
No matter.
I got robbed, Reuben, tricked by a swindler. He waited till I slept. And then... And who's going to believe me? I'll be hung for crimes. What am I gonna do, Reuben?
You best come along with me.
What are you going to do?
Anything but gold, Bill Muggins. Anything but gold.
Gold rush on the west coast. Read all about it.
Young man, we're going west.
Yay!
I've hunted Otago for gold, in the wind, the rain and the cold, and I've holed up all winter under the snow, all along the winding Molyneux, and that's where you need to have hold. But I'm a wake up, I will break up, I'm never more going.
May! Here's a dress. Wear it tonight.
Thank you, Rose.
Rose, tell Miss Marla the boat has come.
Morning, Captain. Bless you, Captain. You got a perfectly good room upstairs. Wagons in, Miss Mama.
Rose! Pearl! Jessie! The boat's coming, we must go to it!
Bus, is this all really necessary?
I must speak the boat. You and Pearl will sort this out. Pleased to be reminded that Charles Thatcher is writing, among others.
Me and Jess are gonna sing with him, aren't we, Jess? If he agrees.
Maybe. Depends on what the others are like. What's up with Captain Walker then?
He couldn't get up the stairs last night.
Not really living up to his name then.
This is our story, a tale grim and gory, way back in the old West Coast days. When gold was a-glowing, and beer was a-flowing, and ships might get lost in the haze.
Two blokes came prospecting for gold days collecting.
Rob Wilson
and Lennox, the James.
They made an arrangement.
A mateship engagement. Together we'll stake all our claims.
We might strike it rich.
You'll sleep in a ditch where it's rocking about.
While stories go round of the gold we have found. Dost down in a hole in the ground. Dost down in a hole in the ground.
Tonight you will stay at the Magdalene. 2 shillings each with all.
As you will be aware, Charles Thatcher is here. We're in for a Wild West Coast ball.
we're in for a wild West Coast brawl.
I've never met such a handsome proprietor.
Yes, I am Ms. Marla. My husband, he died in the flood.
Oh, how dreadful.
Yes, well, he was old and never learned to swim.
James, will we really sleep in a hole?
I'll garner some supplies from the store. A tent, shovel and an axe. But for tonight, you heard the lady.
2 shillings?
I'll let cover.
Get your boots off me coach.
I thought you were dead.
Get your plates of meat off me boat sails.
You'd best leave the captain. Come on, Robert, I'll buy you a drink.
And this I found in the Coromandel. It's a keeper.
And so I welcome everyone, so long as they're not, you know, a murderer or someone. My country was divided when I was little.
The Netherlands?
No, Belgium. A new land, a new start. And you are English?
Oh, heart of London myself, madame. Born in Bristol. Where people go, there is division. But let me tell you, it makes for excellent comedy. Oh, excuse me a moment. The munitions for my next song. Young lady, the best for the job.
And what would the best be?
Now, I'd be the finest whiskey.
I will indeed. I do not.
And I present to you the inimitable Mr. Charles Fletcher!
Show me what you know.
Today I had an hour to spare, so wandered down the track. Amused myself to read the West Coast Law Amendment Act. I read it on a storefront, it was pinned up to a door. The West Coast Law Amendment Act of 1864. Law 1 is indisputable, and 1 I now peruse. Any coaster may do any bleeding thing they want to do. No coaster may be disciplined, amendments 2 to 5. All public bars stay open if a coaster is inside. When it comes to legal matters of the daily working kind, on any day in question a West Coaster may decline. If you have no sense of humour, be sequestered by your host, attending to your strict and swift removal from the coast. We read it on a storefront, it was pinned up to a door. The West Coast Law Amendment Act of 1864.
I'll build us a fire. Be easier with an axe.
She gave me the evil eye.
Who did?
The girl.
Which girl, Robert? There were lots of girls.
The storekeeper. Tripped me over. His fault we got no axe.
Check the water for some colour. While you're at it, fill up the billy.
Them birds are creepy.
The Wicker, are they not strange? They're not scared of anything.
I'm not scared of them. They can't even fly. I'm gonna make a trap. Catch one.
It's fine, Robert. I'll get some more water. I be feeling good about this, Robert. A chance to strike it rich. We'll make our start tomorrow. Of course, we could go our separate ways. I wouldn't think any less of you, Robert. That you, Robert?
Worry not. We only offer supplies.
Reuben?
Met you up north?
James Lennox. Thames it was.
This here's Bill Muggins.
Heard you was after an axe.
You on your own? Only I've been looking to partner up. Got a good lead on the Caledonian.
Robert, see what Bill Muggins got. Come sit. Share the fire.
What is this?
It will get you clobbed.
Rob horribly bubble this down.
It was James, I think.
There's no point in voting. Agreed, this was voted for killing and for murder at Deadmans Creek.
All rise for the Honourable Justice Richmond.
Bring forward the accused.
The accused, Mr. Robert Wilson.
Who is representing this man?
I am, Your Honour. Cole Pitt for the defence of Wilson.
And the Crown?
That's me, Your Honour. Sergeant Hill.
Who is the prosecution for the Crown?
He got taken up by the Burgess gang last summer.
How does the defendant plead?
Not guilty, Your Honour.
Silence, please! People of the court, the points to be considered are only two. First, whether the body found was that of Lennox, the former mate of Wilson, and secondly, was Wilson the murderer. Did you discover a body, Sergeant Hill?
Yes, Your Honour. A body was discovered. And a half egg.
Witness Garvey? Beginning of September last. I found a body there on 2nd September. The body was in a creek, in the water, only about half covered. I turned it over to assure myself that it was the body of a man. I uncovered a long red coat which obscured a partially buried King James Bible.
Dr. Rockstraw?
I examined the body. I made a post-mortem examination. The first day the body was recognisable. A body, if lying in cold water, shall be preserved from putridity for up to 1 month. The wound on the right side of the body penetrated the temple and was about 3.5 inches in length. The wound on the left side was a contused and lacerated wound, very slightly incised. Either of the wounds on the head would have been sufficient to cause death.
James Lennox wore a red coat and brown dungarees. He would read every night. Yes, he also told me how some months previous he had purchased a pair of tailored boots. Those were similar.
Well, I saw the prisoner about Friday after. I asked him where was James. He said he thought he'd gone down to the Caledonian with Reuben.
I met the prisoner at Deadmans Creek. He was with James. Bill sold him some supplies. I was with Bill Muggins too. I knew James to be trustworthy and asked him to partner me, but then I realized he already had a partner. James said he would meet me in a few days' time at the Caledonian. We left and I never saw him since.
You never saw James Lennox at the Caledonian, though you were there the whole time.
That's correct, that's correct.
Miss Powell?
I showed the prisoner and his mate their room when they arrived on Leesport on the 28th of July. The prisoner went by the name of Robert Wilson and his mate was called James Lennox. James carried a red coat and he wore a blue scarf. He had a Bible he would read from. He was reading in his room when I took some warm water upstairs for him to wash. I remember also his boots.
I remember his boots. Pale, strange ones that had upset the captain.
I'm sorry, feller. You're on your own. We all think you did it anyway.
Of the body found in Deadmans Creek does not rest on a few threads of evidence, but on mass testimony, all pointing to the same conclusion. Lennox was last seen alive in company with Wilson on 31st July at Deadmans Creek. The body agreed in age and stature, all this greatly strengthened by the fact that scattered about the neighborhood of the camp were various articles proven to be Lennox's property. There was further testimony that Lennox was never heard of at the Caledonian Terrace, only a few miles distant, where Wilson had stated he had gone when asked what had become of his mate. Wilson came down the creek alone with 30 pounds and a pair of boots 2 sizes too small. Boots that clearly had belonged to Lennox. There is one offence gravest known to our law, that of murder. Robert Wilson, I find you guilty of the murder of James Lennox. Do you have anything to say why sentence of death should not be passed upon you?
No, except that I am innocent of the crime, Your Honour.
Prisoner, you have been found guilty of the crime of murder. A murder so foul and treacherous that one shudders as the circumstances present themselves. A murder committed upon no stranger, but on a friend, who was unarmed and unaware. The act was a horrid one, but its horror is nothing compared with a mind that could conceive and carry out such a deed. The law reserves for you the doom of death. For that, prepare. But as some sign that you look for forgiveness from the inexhaustible fountain of mercy, I hope you will revoke that false declaration of innocence. For false, I fully believe it to be. Robert Wilson, I hereby sentence you to death by hanging.
Robert! Help me, Robert! Water!
Oh, shite.